First and last name for me and spell it out.
Absolutely. My first name's Tommy, and my last name is McPhail. TOMMYMCPHAIL.
All right, Tommy. What's your major? And you go to VCU, obviously.
Absolutely. I'm currently a public relations major within the School of Mass Communications at VCU, and I'm also a gender, sexuality, and women's studies minor.
Great. So, what is the Quidditch team? What is it about? When did it start?
Okay, well, the Quidditch as a whole was a sport that was adapted from the Harry Potter novels. In 2005, a college in Middlebury, Vermont, actually adapted the sport and took it from its, book origins to a more modern rugby dodgeball hybrid. Since 2005, it's grown to a sport that's comprised of over 900 teams worldwide. And what that essentially means is the International Quidditch Association, which is the governing body of Quidditch, they help facilitate the sport worldwide. So most of those teams do occur in the U.S., but we have teams all over the place. There's a couple of Chinese teams going all over Europe and all over the place. So, but it currently functions as a dodgeball rugby hybrid. There are 3 hoops on either side of the field, and there are 7 players on a team, and it's essentially a little bit of a free-for-all. You have 3-point scorers, which are called chasers, and every position is denoted by a headband. So the chasers are denoted by a white headband, and they take the quaffle, which is a slightly deflated volleyball, and they try to take it back and forth and score within the hoops. Each goal is worth 10 points, and then after that, it's just kind of a back and forth from there, just like any other point-scoring sport. The defenders are called beaters. They are denoted by a black headband, and they actually go after what's called the bludgers. Those are dodge. I'm sorry. Okay. Black headbands are. I'm just gonna start the whole beater. Yeah, absolutely. So the beaters are defenders. They have a black headband, and there's 2 on each team. They go after what's called the bludgers, which are dodgeballs. And then there's 3 instead of 2 from the books, just to keep it so it's not one-sided the whole game. So two beaters can have bludgers at one time, and then 1 on the other side. And there's some immunity there. Also, each team has a keeper, which is denoted by a green headband. Those essentially are point scorers as well as goalies, so that gets a little intense. And then, of course, everybody's favorite part is the seeker. Each team has one of those. They are denoted by a yellow headband, and they go after the golden snitch. In the books and the movies, the golden snitch is a ball that flutters around, and it's really hard to catch, but in our version, it is actually a person. It runs around, it's got a little snitch tail in the back of its shorts, and then the game is over when that snitch ball is successfully pulled. The team that pulls that gets 30 points instead of 50 from the books, and then the game is over.
That's interesting. It's very interesting. So you told me that it started, where was it, the school that?
Middlebury, Vermont. Or Middlebury, do you know,
is Middlebury, Vermont.
So Middlebury is a town. Okay. Yes, it was started at Middlebury College in Middlebury, Vermont.
When was it born in VCU?
VCU actually was the first team in Virginia to get a team. And they started in 2008 under President Brittany Puccio. And then since then, the team has evolved into from its initial setup of 10-ish loose players to now its current size of about 40 active members.
So when did VCU start playing other schools, or how did it grow? You said it started in 2008, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you know if they started playing in 2008 specifically?
The spring semester of 2008 is when we were ours.
Okay, so we were the first team to form. That was in 2008, and then later that year, U of R across town, the University of Richmond got a team, and then that was the first kind of back and forth. That's currently the biggest rivalry in the state of Virginia as well. So we're always going back and forth this year.
SCOTTBEHLER.
All right, Scott. So what is Quidditch, and when did you join Quidditch?
Well, I joined Quidditch in 2010, my first semester here at VCU. It is an adaptation of the popular sport in the Harry Potter series, which obviously we don't fly anymore because technology is not available for that. But it's an adaptation of the books from the sport from the books in the Harry Potter series. Do you want me to go into detail on?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. You have three positions. You have four positions. You have your beaters, your chasers, your keepers, and your seekers. Your chasers and your keepers are the quaffle handlers. They are responsible for putting points through the hoop. Any quaffle that passes through the hoop gets you 10 points, regardless if you pass it through your own hoop. So if you pass it through your own hoop, the other team gets 10 points. So own goals are definitely possible. Beaters are sort of, I like to consider them walking chaos, because they can really make a game happen. In a lot of sports, if a team tries to slow down the play or something like that, there's not a whole lot you can do. But what the beaters bring to the game is they can stop anyone in their tracks, no matter what. So if you have, a 6'5", 250-pound guy just charging down the field, there's not a whole lot of people that can stop him. But the beaters, if he gets hit with one of the bludgers by the opposing beaters, then he has to dismount his broom and touch his own hoops. Beaters can also work as an offensive threat as well, so they can sort of clear the defense out for their chasers and their keepers, so that they can get closer to the hoop, make scoring a little bit easier. And finally, the seekers are responsible for catching the golden snitch, which in the book is a walnut-sized ball with wings. The seeker is responsible for catching that, and in the books they get 150 points and end the game. So basically, if you catch the snitch, you win. But in our adaptation, to keep it somewhat...
Oh, yeah.
To win a Quidditch game, players do not need to know how to fly, but they do need a broomstick and a ball.